It is Friday, the 6th of December, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. We're once again talking about an artist that I don't actually know that many songs by, but this is not a particularly obscure artist. We're talking about Snow Patrol. Hey kids, remember Snow Patrol? Pepperidge Farm remembers. If you're not aware, Snow Patrol are a Northern Irish/Scottish band fronted by a guy from County Down named Gary Lightbody, and they're they're definitely most famous for their song Chasing Cars. It's in a million movies and TV shows, but I believe what made it so popular worldwide was that it was in Grey's Anatomy. And I like Chasing Cars. It was overplayed at the time, so everyone kind of got sick of it. But I do think it's a good song. I have a specific memory that I associate with it, which is that I went ice skating once, the rink in Liffey Valley, and I had terrible balance and I fell over. And they were like blasting music on the speakers in the rink. And it was like around the time that Chasing Cars was popular. And so I was like flat on the ice, and Gary Lightbody was going, "If I lie here, if I just lay here." And I was like, same Gary Lightbody, you get me. Anyway, we're not talking about that song today. We're talking about the song Set the Fire to the Third Bar. It's in fact from the same album, Eyes Open, and it features guest vocals from Martha Wainwright. Who's Martha Wainwright, you might ask? Well, Martha Wainwright is the daughter of Kate McGarrigle and Loudon Wainwright III, the bloody motherfucking asshole, and the younger sister of Rufus Wainwright. Big family of singer-songwriters. Kate and her sister Anna McGarrigle, of course, were a duo back in the day. I think of all of the family, I've listened to the most Rufus, but I do really like the songs by Martha that I know. I did just reference her song Bloody Motherfucking Asshole. Great song. Anyway, this is all too much information. We're talking about the song Set the Fire to the Third Bar by Snow Patrol featuring Martha Wainwright. So let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that is Set the Fire to the Third Bar by Snow Patrol and Martha Wainwright. When I was a kid, my brother was big into this song. I mean, he was into Snow Patrol. He enjoyed Snow Patrol. Don't let him hear you say that now. And I would just hear the song in passing, and I was confused. I didn't know what the title was referring to. And I imagined it was about, like, literally setting fire to a bar, as in a pub. And so, like, I imagined it to be maybe about arson or something. Like, I didn't know what the song was about. But anyway, that is not what the song is about. In fact, so Gary Lightbody said that he was writing the song and he was really cold and wearing fingerless gloves. I don't know why that's a detail that's important, but anyway. And he remembered that when he was a child, his Aunt Jean had an electric heater, and this is a quote, "If we were very good and it was very cold, she let us all put 3 bars on." He goes on to say how it represents a beacon of warmth within a song about distance. So the song itself is about a long distance relationship, but this line here about setting the fire to the third bar is about turning up the heat on an electric heater, setting it to the highest heat, which presumably would, consume more energy, but if you're really cold, you gotta set it that high, right? So it's a unique title for this kind of thing. And like I said, it's about distance. What I really love about the song, though, is that they sing every single line together. There's a bit of like melody, counter melody, harmony, dissonance sort of thing going on, but they sing like every single line together, which I think is interesting that in a song about distance, their vocals are so close, but I think it shows the kind of the closeness in the supposed relationship, Now, Gary Lightbody and Martha Wainwright are not together or anything. She's just a great singer, and he just imagined she would be great at singing it, so he sent it to her and she wanted to do it. Anyway, let's start reading the lyrics. "I find the map and draw a straight line over rivers, farms, and state lines. The distance from A to where you'd be, it's only finger lengths that I see. I touch the place where I'd find your face, my fingers in creases of distant dark places." So, I find the map and draw a straight line, so like drawing from one point to the other as the crow flies, not like going along a road, just a straight line over rivers, farms, and state lines. The distance from A to where you'd be. So that's a pun on A to B, right? But A being the starting point and where you'd be. It's only finger lengths that I see. So when you have it on a map, even if the distance is big, on a map it's just, it's quite small, so it only looks like finger lengths, And then I touch the place where I'd find your face, my fingers in creases of distant dark places, just like touching the place on the map where they are because they can't actually touch them in person, I hang my coat up in the first bar, there is no peace that I've found so far. The laughter penetrates my silence as drunken men find flaws in science. Their words mostly noises, ghosts with just voices. Your words in my memory are like music to me. So I think this is partially why I had the confusion about the title, because he mentions the first bar. He doesn't ever mention the second bar. But anyway, in this case, he's saying that he's going out to a pub because he's lonely and hangs up his coat. I hang my coat up in the first bar. There is no peace that I've found so far. So he's lonely. He's not getting any rest. So he goes to the pub. And then the laughter penetrates my silence as drunken men find flaws in science. You can immediately picture like some small pub where there's like loud drunks talking shite about science and all this sort of, like, it's a very Irish image to me. I think I've been in those pubs, but how it like cuts through the silence, not necessarily in a good way. I mean, it makes him feel less alone, I suppose, but he doesn't feel included by them either. Their words mostly noises, ghosts with just voices. Like, he's not connected to their conversation at all. It's just noise. It's not actually meaningful words to him. Your words in my memory are like music to me. So where these sound like noise, this person that he's thinking about, her words sound like music, right? It again shows this affection. And then we get the chorus. And miles from where you are, I lay down on the cold ground, and I pray that something picks me up and sets me down in your warm arms. Very simple imagery of, I lie down on the cold ground and I wish that something would pick me up and bring me to you where it's warm. I want to be with you. Again, very, very simple phrasing, but I just really love how it sounds, especially, their voices harmonize so well. Martha Wainwright has such a lovely voice. And so the way he's going, miles from where you are, and she's going up on the lay down on the cold ground. I love how that all blends together. Especially, I don't think it's in this chorus, it's in a later chorus, but she kind of goes, sets me down in your warm arms. I still have a bit of a dry throat. I can't really do it quite well, but you understand what I mean. Anyway, then the next verse. After I have traveled so far, we'd set the fire to the third bar. We'd share each other like an island until exhausted close our eyelids. And dreaming pick up from the last place we left off. Your soft skin is weeping, a joy you can't keep in. And then the rest of the song is the chorus again several times. So this is where we get the title lyric. After I have traveled so far, we'd set the fire to the third bar. So he's saying, like, after all this effort, after all this time of waiting, after I travel to see you, we're going to turn the eating up. We'd share each other like an island until exhausted close our eyelids. That could just mean cuddling, but it could very well mean fucking too. It sounds like we'd share each other like an island until exhausted. Like, it sounds like they're having sex in front of the fire. It's a lovely imagery when you think about it, of like, I miss you so much, I want to fuck you in front of the fire and then fall the fuck asleep. And dreaming pick up from the last place we left off. Self-explanatory. Your soft skin is weeping, a joy you can't keep in. Just the immense love and being overjoyed of being together again, it makes the distance almost worth it. I love this song so much. I love the way it sounds. Again, obviously winter themed because it's about the cold and wanting to lay down by the fire. And it really exemplifies the feeling of long distance. I really think it's a great description of that, of this whole idea of being miles from someone and just wanting to lay down in their warm arms, and the joy of being reunited as well. Love it. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Break it down. Hey kids, remember Snore Patrol? That was weird. And the younger sister, excuse me.